The rewards for the Mightiest Governor, the Wheel of Fortune, and even the daily special offer are changing in Rise of Kingdoms if you are in a KvK Season 1 through 3 Kingdom. And theoretically, this is to prepare you for the end game. So stick around in this video for the very important changes coming to all of these events that award legendary commander sculptures. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today's video was sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms. And I was very surprised to wake up this morning and see that there are big changes coming to a number of the critical events that award sculptures in the game. So let's talk about this. To improve the situation where you need to train many commanders upon entering the season of Conquest, we are making a series of adjustments to the commanders available to you in each season as follows. Now there's a couple things here that do surprise me a little bit. First of all, I think there's a recognition that, there are certain commanders you really need in the end game that you don't get in the early game. But second of all, I kind of thought the museum system, as it was designed today, was intended to sort of address some of these changes. But it looks like the developers are really giving you even more firepower so that when you hit Season of Conquest, you can hit the ground running. And I think that's generally a good thing. So let's look now at the changes to the Mightiest Governor. After the kingdom enters the off-season for Season 1, by the way, the off-season is what happens before you enter the season. So first there's the off-season for Season 1, then there's Season 1. Then you're in the off-season for KvK 2, then you're in KvK 2. Then you're in the off-season for KvK 3, then you're in KvK 3. And you can actually see this, by the way, if you zoom out, you go to the globe, it'll take you to the kingdom list. You can see the preparation season, which is before the temple is even taken. Then Season 1, there's the off-season, right? And then the Lost Kingdom list. You're in the off-season for KvK 2 after Season 1 ends, then the kingdom list, and so on. You get the idea. So let's continue with this. It says, the commander rewards for the Mightiest Governor will be changed to be selected commanders of your choice from the tavern. You can select certain commanders from the tavern chests. Details are subject to game content as your rewards for the Mightiest Governor, and they will remain available until the kingdom enters Season 1 of the Lost Kingdom. So after you take the Lost Temple, and before you enter KvK Season 1, you will now be able to choose any of the commanders that are in gold keys as your reward for the Mightiest Governor. And for those wondering, what does that even look like? That mechanism is already available in the end game. You can see you just switch the commander you want, okay? So that's how that works. Now, the end game we'll talk about in a bit. There's a rotation, but let's continue on with what we have here. After the kingdom enters Season 1 of the Lost Kingdom, the commander reward for the Mightiest Governor will be El Cid. It's very interesting. They're like, pick what you want, but now you get El Cid for 3 rounds. I think this is because El Cid is a strong player with Esong, and in KvK Season 1, that combo is really good. It's even good in later seasons of KvK as well, but it's very interesting to see that they chose El Cid. And then after the kingdom enters Season 2's off-season, the rewards for the Mightiest Governor will be a selected commander of your choice from the tavern until kingdom enters Season 2 of the Lost Kingdom. So they go back to letting you, I think, pick any of the commanders that you want from the tavern. And then they say after the kingdom enters Season 2 of the Lost Kingdom, you can select one commander from Genghis Khan, Constantine, and Tommy as your reward from the Mightiest Governor until you enter Season 3. So while you're in KvK 2, they've moved Khan from being a wheel commander to a Mightiest Governor commander. And they've moved Constantine, well, actually, he was Mightiest Governor. So Constantine and Tommy remain Mightiest Governor commanders. That's very interesting. I mean, Tommy's really good in the end game. Constantine plays a very critical role, I think, in the early game garrisoning, but especially in Canyon in the end game, and Khan has no role whatsoever, although that could change with relics. We'll see. Now, after the kingdom enters Season 3 of the Lost Kingdom, commander rewards for the Mightiest Governor will be the same as the Season of Conquest, where rewards will be rotated in the order of cavalry commanders, infantry, archers, and leadership. So you can collect endgame commanders, but you can't actually use them in KvK 3, right? So the game is like, we'll already let you start working on Season of Conquest. Forget the KvK you're in. You got to prepare for the next one, which is definitely interesting. Then they say, as kingdoms don't enter the off-season at the same time, governors from each kingdom may get different numbers of the Mightiest Governor. And the above adjustments are scheduled to be available following the version update in May. So we don't know when that version update in May is coming. It hasn't even been announced beyond sort of what's in this message. So this is definitely a very interesting change that they're letting you know way in advance in order to prepare. And I mean, the thing that I find surprising about some of these changes is I thought this building the museum. This is an end game building. You get it for free. You don't have to level it up. You just build it. And then you accumulate exhibit currency to unlock the exhibit for different heroes. And then relic currency to unlock this relic, which just gives you buffs. It's just straight buffs. It's just amazing. I thought this whole system was intended to solve the matter of early game commanders being viable in the end game. But they've made these additional adjustments, and it's just very interesting to see Khan now in the Mightiest Governor, and that presumably means Saladin goes to the Wheel of Fortune. So let's talk about that. After the kingdom enters the preparation season, the commander reward for Wheel of Fortune will be Minamoto. Now, this has to be an error. Minamoto until the kingdom enters Season 1's off-season. I assume that's an error and that they mean Richard I. You only need, I believe it's exactly the number of sculptures that VIP chests give you to expertise Minamoto. You can't use universals on him. So, I mean, they haven't mentioned Richard I anywhere. So I would assume this is Richard I until you enter the off-season for KvK Season 1. So basically, before you capture the temple, you're getting Richard I. Then, when you enter the off-season for Season 1, the rewards are changed to a selected commander of your choice from the tavern until the kingdom enters Season 1 of Lost Kingdom. So the Wheel of Fortune lets you pick any Gold Key commander? Is that right? That's bold. Okay, and then after the kingdom enters Season 1 of KvK, then you can get Isong. And Isong is the one commander you really got to double down on. Although, a Wheel of Fortune, if I'm understanding this correctly, and definitely let me know below in the comments, but a Wheel of Fortune for example, Charles Martel or Mehmed sounds insane. Am I missing something? Definitely leave a comment down below. By the way, if you're getting value from this video, do me a huge favor. Throw a like on here and consider subscribing to the channel for daily videos about Rise of Kingdoms designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. So now they say after the kingdom enters Season 2's off-season, the rewards for the Wheel of Fortune are changed again to be the selected commander of your choice from the tavern until the kingdom enters Season 2. Now, when you enter Season 2, you can choose Saladin, Alexander the Great, or Edward of Woodstock, or Thutmose as your reward for the Wheel of Fortune. So this is very interesting. I mean, obviously, Alexander the Great or Saladin are your pick here. They're both very, very good. I would steer you toward Alexander the Great over Saladin. I think Alexander the Great is probably the stronger of those heroes, although Saladin is very, very good. Thutmose is also very, very good. But there's more to Thutmose that we need to talk about in just a minute here, and you'll see why. Maybe don't go for Thutmose, okay? Now they say, after the kingdom enters Season 3 of the Lost Kingdom, the commander rewards for the wheel will be the same as the Season of Conquest rewards. So even though you can't presumably use those commanders yet, you can start to collect them, which is just a really weird dynamic. But that is what that is. And it rotates through cavalry, infantry, archers, and leadership. And since everybody doesn't enter KvK Season 4 and beyond at the same time, governors from each kingdom may participate in a different number of Wheels of Fortune during their season or off-season leading up to KvK Season 4. Okay? The above adjustments are scheduled to be available following the version update in May. Wow. This is really interesting. There's more, though, because also the other place, the other vector for tons of sculptures is the daily special offer. And the daily special offer bundle is insane. I mean, if there's one bundle you buy beyond maybe, you know, like the growth fund and the gem supply and maybe the material supply, the daily special offer is nuts. The amount of gold heads you get from this offer is really, 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 really good value compared to all the other bundles you can get almost any time. So daily special offer is great as long as you want those commanders. And so let's start with that. They say you can select Mulan from the daily special offer bundle after the kingdom enters Season 1 of the Lost Kingdom. You can select Thutmose from the daily special offer bundle after the kingdom enters Season 2 of the Lost Kingdom. And you can select Saladin, Alex, Woody over here, Banana Helmet, from the daily special offer after the kingdom has entered Season 2 of Lost Kingdom after some period of time. So they're putting Saladin and Alexander the Great in the wheel and also the daily special offer. And then they say you can select Khan, Constantine, and Tommy from the daily special offer after you enter Season 3. Now, this makes sense because now they're giving you the next generation of commanders from the Mightiest Governor. So they're saying, yeah, you can get the previous from your daily special offer, which makes it far less critical to actually win a Mightiest Governor in KvK Season 2 because you can start to get their daily special offer when you enter KvK Season 3. Then they say commanders of Season of Conquest will be gradually included in the daily special offer bundles after the kingdom enters Season 3 of the Lost Kingdom. Oh, wait a minute. So they're going to start to add daily special offer bundles with Season of Conquest commanders in KvK Season 3. And along with the above adjustments, the schedule for the adjustment for Mulan and Thutmose will be announced another time. The rest of the adjustments are scheduled to be available following the version update in May. Really interesting. Now, above other adjustments, as mentioned above, you'll be able to obtain Saladin from Wheel of Fortune, but not the Mightiest Governor. As mentioned above, now Khan is available from the Wheel of Fortune and not the Mightiest Governor, which is really weird because I think that's a typo. Didn't they move Khan specifically to the Mightiest Governor? Am I misremembering? We scroll up. Yeah, here it is. After the kingdom enters Season 2 of the Lost Kingdom, you can select one commander, Khan, Constantine, or Tommy as your reward from the Mightiest Governor. So I think this is a typo, and they're actually trying to say you can now get Khan from the Mightiest Governor. You cannot get Khan from the Wheel of Fortune. Then they say you won't be able to obtain Thutmose's sculptures from an expedition, and some of Thutmose's skills will be adjusted for balance. Now, this is really weird. I don't know if that means they're making Thutmose stronger or weaker, but skill adjustments on heroes or commanders is something that always gets my attention in a really, really big way, because it could be good, could be bad. And Thutmose sculptures from Expedition ultimately doesn't matter. What they're saying here is that these sculptures, when we go all the way to Expedition, right, sometimes they show up down here and that's almost never. So I think that's what they're saying. I don't know why this matters at all, that Thutmose is even in here or that they're removing him, because the reality is you're only going to get 1 to 2 sculptures of his from here, like per year. So it's just very, very infrequent. And early game players don't have that many medals to work with anyways. So I don't think that is particularly relevant or alarming. So they finish off this letter by saying you're welcome to discuss the adjustments in the community, and specific adjustments are subject to game content. You deliver more compelling stories, throwing battles, and glorious epics on the battlefield of Rise of Kingdoms. Okay, so, the biggest takeaways for me is that I think they're making Saladin more accessible, and I think that's a good thing. And they're making Season of Conquest commanders more accessible, which I think is also a good thing. The fact that you need those commanders so much and so badly that you have to start collecting them before you can even use them is a little weird. And maybe I'm missing a change here around when you can start using them. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. There's 2 videos I think you'll find very helpful, and there'll be cards for them in the end screen. One is going to tell you how good commanders are right now. The other is going to be an investment tier list that tells you which commanders I think are going to hold their value for a very long time. So if you're just choosing one of these commanders and you don't know which one for the Season of Conquest heroes, those guides will really help you out.